So we did just get the Star Wars Outlaws story trailer the other day, as I'm sure you guys are all aware. And now that I've had some time, I have actually been a little bit under the weather. I have gone and looked through every single frame of this trailer and tried to get all of the little hidden secrets and all that kind of stuff that we may have missed on that first viewing. And so today we're going to be doing a complete breakdown of the Outlaws story trailer. There are plenty of awesome Easter eggs, cameos, and exciting details to go over. And because of the pace of the trailer and how much there is to cover, I'm going to do my best to sort of speed through it, simply because if I discuss each thing in depth, it would literally go for about 30 minutes. So bear with me. And if I do miss anything, be sure to let me know down in the comment section. Now, starting off, we get a shot here of Canto Bight, which we all obviously know from The Last Jedi. And it actually says on screen as well that this is captured in engine, not all images appear in game. So this stuff isn't necessarily like CGI. This isn't a CGI trailer. All of this is using the actual in-game character models and stuff like that. So how it looks in the trailer is how we can expect it to look in game, even though this isn't actually using gameplay. Now, we see a meeting here with some of these crime syndicates. We get the Pikes, Crimson Dawn, and the Hutts, and it seems that this is being held on Canto Bight. Now, you may not believe this, but that right there, that is Kira from Solo. I know that probably sounds absolutely insane and you'll think I'm just clickbaiting or something. I will explain towards the end of the video. We are only 4 seconds into the trailer, so I'm going to try and get through the trailer and then I'll explain it at the end. But I can confirm that is Kira from the Solo movie. Now, I'm not 100% sure what planet this is just yet, but I think it might be Akiva, which is pretty much making its debut in this game. It has been in some of the comics before, as well as I believe it was in the Aftermath novel trilogy, but obviously in a book you can't see it. So this is kind of the first time we've really seen it. I think there was just a few panels in the comics that it's been in, and therefore it is essentially debuting in this game. Now, again, I don't know if this is actually Akiva, but the dialogue in this moment kind of heavily implies that, because this planet is very heavily controlled by the Empire, and we can see about 1 million Imperial ships and stormtroopers and stuff like that. So yeah, this definitely seems like it is Akiva for me. It then continues on with the meeting between all the syndicates and the organizations, and this guy here, his name is Sliro, and he will most likely be the main villain of the game. We then get our first look in this trailer at Vess. It shows her kind of gearing up, and it looks like she's picking up what seems to be her grapple hook there. You can see this confirmed by the press kit PDF, where it looks pretty similar to what she's picking up. And then we also get a good look at her blaster too. Unfortunately, the blaster model doesn't actually have a name. It is simply referred to as K's blaster. So yeah, I'm not sure if there is an actual name for this type of blaster or not. Like I said, be sure to let me know down in the comments. As the camera changes, we can also see some back to vials on the back of her pants. This is again confirmed to be back to vials by the press kit. So it seems a little bit similar there to the Jedi games, for example, that we can sort of pop these back to vials and it will heal us up. That is obviously to be expected in really any Star Wars video game. We then see her beating the shit out of a Celestin, and I've actually gone deep and actually looked at A New Hope in the cantina scene and can confirm by these red and blue lights in the background of both shots, this is definitely in the Mos Eisley cantina, unless there is just some absurd coincidence in a different cantina. But I think it's safe to say that this is definitely taking place in Mos Eisley. We're then introduced to this new character that people were comically saying was Kyle Katarn, which I find to be hilarious. His actual name is Jalen. We saw him in the original trailer, but this is kind of the first time we've actually seen him speak and stuff like that. He immediately mentions the Zarek Besh, who are a new crime syndicate, and he says they are both rich and lethal, at which point we get a good look at their armor and stuff. It looks a bit silly in my opinion. It doesn't look very useful to me, but Star Wars is always kind of silly, so I think that's fine. There's then another shot of Sliro, who, like I said, is their boss, and he seems like he's going to be the main villain. So therefore, considering he's in charge of the Zarek Besh, it seems as though the Zarek Besh are going to be fairly common throughout the game. We know the game is about a massive heist, and it seems the main plot is going to be that Vess is putting together a crew to try and steal Sliro's fortune, which is most likely going to be on Cantonica. We also learn that Sliro has hired this character here called Vale, who is a bounty hunter, and her job is that she's been tasked with hunting down Vess, so we are going to have a bounty hunter on our tails throughout the entire game. We then get a look at what could be Sliro's palace of some sort. This part was mentioned when Jalen talks about robbing his fortune, so this definitely looks like it's on Canto Bight, and it definitely looks like this could be where we actually need to steal all of his money from, which I'd imagine will be towards the end of the game. We do get a bit of a look at the stealth gameplay too. I'm pretty keen on that. I haven't really played any like stealth gameplay in Star Wars game for a while. I guess the Battlefront 2 campaign had a little bit, but I didn't really buy Battlefront for the campaign, so hopefully the stealth gameplay in Outlaws is really solid. We then get a look at Jabba's palace, and we get to see Han in Carbonite, which is awesome. A lot of people are saying that, you know, this is dumb fan service and stuff, but it is a game based on crime during the original trilogy. Of course, Jabba was going to be involved in it, And if he is, why would Han not be on display in his palace, since that is obviously canon? So I think it's pretty cool to see Han chilling there in Carbonite. Now here we get a good look at Toshara, which is the main planet of the game that we have seen plenty of gameplay on already. The environment looks really, really good. We get to see in the background there that city that is kind of under that rock formation, and that is potentially going to be the main attraction of this planet. That being said, we do also get a look at a second city here that is also pretty damn big by the looks of it, and it still looks like Toshara to me. This could be Akiva, but I'm pretty sure this is Toshara. So this is probably the other settlement they mentioned when the first round of gameplay came out. It is pretty exciting to think that this is just one of 6 or 7 planets in the game, and it's got 2 massive cities. It's also got that little outpost that we saw in the initial gameplay, as well as the little town with a cantina, and all of this can be traveled between on a speeder, and like I said, that is 1 planet out of 6. So I think this game is going to be pretty damn massive. There's also a really great shot of Tatooine here. The lighting and the atmosphere look absolutely fantastic. Now these characters here, I initially thought they kind of looked a little bit like the Pikes, but their helmets are a bit different. But this is actually the Ashiga clan, who are new for this game, so we haven't seen these guys before. They are based on Kijimi as far as I'm aware, and Kay is potentially captured here. It looks as though she has handcuffs on, but it's really hard to tell. She does just have like a comlink on her wrist normally, so it's hard to tell if she's been captured here or if that is just the comlink, but I thought that was interesting nonetheless. Now this is the Pike leader as far as I can tell. It's obviously a Pike. I just can't tell if it's their actual leader or not. He says to Kay, "You're new to this world, come back when you're not." And that's a bit of a hint at the reputation system, that maybe early on in the game we have to sort of earn the right to meet with the syndicate or cartel leaders like this guy and Jabba. Now speaking of Jabba, we do meet him in the next shot. I find this to be hilarious, but he is voiced by D. Bradley Baker and so is Nix somehow. So D. Bradley Baker, who for those who don't know, he voices the clones in the Clone Wars. He is voicing Jabba the Hutt and Nix. I don't even know how that makes sense, but it is pretty awesome to have him involved. Something else funny I thought was that you can see Bib Fortuna chilling in the background like the absolute weirdo that he is. We then get a look at the Imperial hangar here. We can see Kay's ship, so it looks like we're maybe trying to escape in this scene or something like that. And we do get a bit of a look at the gameplay elements of Nix stealing items for us on command as he brings Kay an E11 blaster here. Obviously, this isn't actual gameplay, but we are going to be able to do that when we're playing the game. There's then another Imperial outpost on what looks to be Toshara, unless maybe it is Tatooine, but I just don't think that'll be the case, really. It's kind of hard to say. Toshara is a mix of like green fields, but it does also have some more like rocky canyon-like areas. So yeah, who knows whether this is Toshara or Tatooine, but then we do see some great shots of Toshara after that as well. There's then a little bit of like parkour on what looks to be the rooftops of Kijimi or maybe Akiva. It's kind of hard to tell because we only see the buildings and we're only really used to seeing Kijimi at night. It looks like Kijimi, but it's also not snowing, and yeah, it could equally be Akiva as well. There's then a few characters that we get to see. We see ND5, this little weird looking creature, and then a protocol droid, and then we see Kay trying to make her escape from the Varric Besh. Kind of looks earlier on in the game to me. The ship has kind of got covers on the seats and stuff, and she's not wearing her normal outfit, so this could be early on in the game or something like that. And we see her making her escape and flying off world. There's a shot of Sliro and Vale talking, and then ND5 absolutely deletes Vale, and so he seems like he's going to be a bit of a tank. He pretty much with one hand just completely deletes her. The next shot shows an ISD or an Imperial Star Destroyer. Weirdly, this has no shield generators. For those who don't know, the shield generators, they're the like spherical things that are on top of, like they're pretty much on the very top of the ISD. And as you can see, they're not there. Now, this has me a little bit concerned because this could easily be, like, there could be a reason for that. Maybe there's an actual reason that they've been destroyed, or this is a different type of Star Destroyer or something like that. But it could equally be that they just missed that detail, and if that's the case, I know it's not a big detail, who really gives a shit if that's there or not, but if they've missed a detail like that me as like just a fan of Star Wars can pick up, it has me concerned they may miss other details and stuff. So that has me a little bit concerned, but I'll wait until I actually play to decide, because like I said, there could be an actual reason behind that. Now in this scene too, there are TIE fighters chasing Kay, but weirdly there's also an X-Wing in this shot, so I don't know what situation this is. I wonder if she's just arriving at this planet and it turns out the rebels are attacking a Star Destroyer. I don't really know, but I thought that was very interesting that there is actually an X-Wing here, or it could be part of the mission that we have like a rebel escort or something like that. We then get a bit of confirmation that the speeders can travel on water, which is awesome. This once again looks like Toshara, and there's what seems to be the engine of maybe an ISD or like a Republic cruiser from back in the day that's crashed here. I'm not exactly sure what it is. I've looked at heaps of engines from a bunch of ISDs and stuff like that. It doesn't exactly match any of them. It does seem to be a little bit too too overgrown to be from an Imperial ship though, because obviously the Empire has only probably been around 15 to 20 years at this point, and so it seems more likely to be Republic, but yeah, I'm not too sure. Hopefully this is kind of like in the Jedi games where there is actually genuinely a crashed cruiser there that we can go and explore. I think that would be pretty awesome. We then see an awesome wild creature here. The head of it looks like the head of Cubone, honestly, but it definitely looks very sick. We then see some droids attacking someone and Kay in a fight on what seems to be Kijimi again, and then we get this awesome shot of 2 TIE interceptors chasing Kay as well. Now this part looks interesting to me. It looks like she is potentially inside a Star Destroyer here. It could actually be the same sequence where she gets Nix to steal that E11 later on or something. This definitely looks too big of a structure to be essentially anything but Imperial, so I'm going to assume it's inside a Star Destroyer or something like that, and that seems like that could be a pretty damn fun mission. There's then an awesome shot here of us running away from the huts on Tatooine, and then she goes sliding down into a Sarlacc pit, and am I crazy or does the Sarlacc look dead? Its tentacle things are just like not moving and they're spread out everywhere. It looks like the Sarlacc has been like blown up or something, so I'm not too sure what's going on there, but that is a pretty awesome shot as well. We then see a shot of some Death Troopers, which is awesome to see them confirmed in the game, and then we get an ATST on what I assume is either Tashara or probably Akiva, because like I said, Akiva is like very heavily reinforced with Imperials, so I'm going to assume if there's an ATST, it's most likely going to be Akiva. There's then a wild chase scene with some weird ass spiders, and then this guy in the background I noticed, does he potentially have a freaking bowcaster, because this is shooting 3 shots at once, so it's not just some like a regular blaster. I'm pretty keen to see what that is. It'd be cool if we can actually pick that up and use it ourselves. Lastly, for the final shot of the trailer, we get the Crate Dragon, which is awesome to see. I did not expect to see one, to be honest, but it makes perfect sense if we are on Tatooine, and I'm really hoping this can actually be a random occurrence, not just a scripted thing. Obviously this point of the game, this looks like it will be scripted, but it'd be cool if we can actually just travel around Tatooine and we can actually come across these at random. Now that's pretty much it for the trailer. Getting back to the Kira thing, like I said, this right here, this is Kira from Solo, and I know that sounds dumb because it doesn't look anything like her at all, but this has been confirmed by multiple journalists who were actually able to go, and I believe they played the game early, but they were also given a briefing from Massive Entertainment, and there is confirmation that Kira is in the game. This right here you can see is a screenshot of Kira. This picture definitely looks a lot more like Kira, but as you can see, it seems to be wearing pretty much the exact same thing. It's clear that this character is from the Crimson Dawn, and that's what we know Kira is doing after the events of Solo. And so even though it doesn't really look like Kira, this, as far as I can tell anyway, is Kira. And even if that exact shot isn't Kira, we know she is in the game anyway, so maybe I've made a mistake there, but it is confirmed Kira is going to be in the game. The reason it doesn't look like Emilia Clarke is most likely because they would have had to pay a shitload of money to just have her in the game, and I don't imagine she's going to be in there as like a main character or anything like that, so it probably just wasn't worth it. It is confirmed she is not voicing the character, and I'd imagine they're not fully allowed to use her likeness either, because then yeah, they'd have to pay for that. So as you can see in this image, it does look like her a little bit, and to be fair, she's also a lot older than she was in Solo, but yeah, I thought it was very interesting that it looks really different to her in that initial shot. I heard some people say like, oh my god, that's Kira, and I actually thought they were stupid, and then it turns out that they have actually confirmed she's in the game, and so yeah, that is definitely very interesting. I wonder how much she'll be in there. I don't imagine it's going to be very much, but we are going to have to wait and see. So that is my breakdown of the new Outlaws trailer, guys. Plenty of awesome stuff to see, and I cannot wait to start getting more trailers and stuff over the next few months in the lead up to launch. Like I said, let me know if I missed anything down in the comment section, but with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and may the force be with you always.